Lombardy has had traditionally a very dynamic labor market with many jobs, but often requiring low skills. So the task here is really how to create quality jobs and improve productivity of the SME-based economy. How to transform this economy through upgrading and diversifying established industries and SMEs and building new market opportunities, and how then to address the long-term challenges which can also be perceived as great opportunities: aging demographics, immigration, and also environmental sustainability. Last time I was in Milan, I was struck by the fact that compared to some other leading metropolitan regions in Europe, for example, Barcelona, Berlin, the congestion and logistics here seems to be a problem. I was pleased to see that now there were less cars in the streets, and I was told that some action had been taken. These things do mean something for the livability and the attractivity of the region. And then finally, you have a marvelous potential in your higher education institutions. How can you improve the quality and relevance of higher education and build the capacity to transform higher education and universities into an active asset for regional development? We believe that they are here. Some of them are excellent. There are peaks of excellence everywhere, but do they really work efficiently? So far, Lombardy has made a relatively slow move towards knowledge economy. This is a region, and this might come as a shock, it's a region of low skills. Italy in general, if you compare that to OECD countries, has low skills. Only 20% of in the 25 to 34-year-olds have tertiary education degrees, and in the older generation this is 10%. In the OECD average this is 35% for the young age group and 20% for the older age group. Tertiary education graduates account for only 16% of the working age population in Lombardy. Among the European regions, 265 regions in Europe, this puts Lombardy on the place of 221st. It is below Île-de-France, 40%, Stockholm, 42.5%, and even the average European Union. This leads to productivity gap, underinvestment in technologically advanced human capital. Unemployment. Lombardy has traditionally the most dynamic economy in Italy, and it's very absorptive labor market. But the labor market has also deteriorated, especially for the young. Graduate unemployment is there, and there are a lot of young people in precarious jobs. We already looked into the demographic change. Rapidly aging population, low labor market participation, and one of the highest elderly dependency rates in Europe, right after Sweden, is causing extreme stress on the economy. Labor market here relies a lot on informal workforce and also workers with low skills. University sector, here as elsewhere in Italy, particularly the public part of it, features inefficiencies. There are high dropout rates, relatively low completion rates. When in the OECD, the completion rate is 45%, 69%. Here it's 45%. The dropout rates and the delays in studies also cause late entry to the labor market. OECD has before stated that what Italy is a system that encourages completion of all students, student support system that encourages completion of studies of all students, but also reduces financial burden of those who come from low-income families. And finally, Lombardy is facing challenges in attracting and retaining talent. The Italian talent is on the move. They are attracted by universities elsewhere and research centers. At the same time, there has been limited efforts to train the growing immigrant pool here. The key conclusions for Lombardy are these. And I think Paolo is just about to say that we are having about 40, more than 40 detailed recommendations for different stakeholders. But here are the sort of key high-level recommendations. You need to make the education and labor market system more inclusive. Talent is being wasted. There are women, the aging population, and immigrants. There is a need to improve overall educational attainment levels and also upgrade skills by stronger focus on lifelong learning. And while the skills level are raised, also the economy needs to be changed. You have to create an economy that can absorb this population. These are challenges for the universities. It is not only about training people with proper skills, skills which will help them from lifelong employment to lifelong employability, but also it is about helping economy to change by bringing high growth, high technology companies. This is also about the fact that the system is not yet diversified enough. This region needs vocational education at higher level. We also think that the education and the research development and innovation should be better linked with the region's needs and assets. What are the key assets of the region? Visual arts and design, manufacturing strengths. Here are your assets, and those are here already. You do not need to you don't have to invent them. They are here. They can be built on. And finally, what was surprising to the international experts was that while you have creative arts sector, which is hugely powerful, and also arts education here, which is perhaps the only education part which is really bringing in international talent all the time, attracting. This has not really been taken as a export item. This is an industry for the region, and you can capitalize on this. We have seen regions elsewhere, for example in Victoria, state of Victoria and Melbourne. Their education is the biggest export article, biggest industry. While I'm not saying that this is the way for you to go, because there are also challenges in that approach, I think you already have it, but you need to capitalize on it and make it bigger. Finally, I would like to say that, of course, the relevance of universities depends on their ability to be responsive to the socio-economic needs of the region. They need autonomy, they need incentives, and they need accountability schemes. What is happening at the moment is that there are huge financial pressures on public sector. Cost sharing, public and private partnerships are probably the only way of moving forward. When public funding is not forthcoming, those institutions which are enterprising need to go out and diversify their funding schemes. What the government needs to do is to build up a funding model that holds higher education institutions accountable, improves their quality, relevance, and specialization. Thank you very much. I still refer to this book, look at the actual recommendations from here. These were just the high-level notes. Thank you.